When you find yourself in New York City, that famed, exalted place, like the last place you figured you'd end up precisely because you figured you'd end up there in the first place, you play 101 nights in a row in Times Square. The sheer, epic luster that is not if, but when. And if it is to be said that a heart lurks within the city of estates and real old days, it's where the avenue of Broadway joins the street of 42nd. They call it the crossroads of the world, the most unreal zone in town. In the 1880s, the site of the future Harris Theater was occupied by the third free circulating public library in New York City. But such site is not now but the old site of the Harris Theater at 226 West 42nd Street. Back then, known at first as the Candler Theater, after Atlanta consubstantiator of elements Asa Griggs Candler, who morphed a countertop blood balm remedy into the being and nothingness of what with which we know today to wash down popcorn as Coca-Cola. The theater spooled movies as if still in the gaslight era, lit to occult beatitudes, where pre-peeper paranoid screeningness scrolled silent cinema selves. George Klein was a maker of stereopticons and an inventor of magnoscopes, who reeled in a license agreement between exhibitors, kinetoscopists, and projecting machine manufacturers. And Klein backed the early movie house as a state-of-the-art picture theater for American audiences to pay for quality entertainment in the year 1914. People filled 1,200 seats for the premiere photoplay adaptation of Antony and Cleopatra. In 1919, a group of homeless men was invited to a free midnight performance of Topsy and Ava, an adaptation of the 1850s pop culture mind-bender novel Uncle Tom's Cabin. The men lived in Bowery flop tubs and were led by a mysterioso of mutual aid called Urbain Ledoux. Ledoux auctioned off great war vets on the street to highlight the lowlife of America. In that quaint period known as the 1930s, the play theater returned to movie house status with such salty fare as moonlight and pretzels. The Harris Theater was the first to augment silent viewing with audio and played newsreels in the spectro-telephonic movie tone process, which photographed sound. In 1947, popcorn made a comeback at the Harris. See, the salty snack'd been snatched from cinema sweet stands for 7 years by City Hall snuffers, and flick hounds on the flamboyant floodway were a nervous wreck. But soon, the second-run Screen Shack bucked the buttered bucket ban. In 1991, there was an argument between two angry male audience members, one of whom had a gun and used it. The Harris Theater was the sole sprocket pit on the Deuce in spring 1994. The block was falling down. Salvation from the total purge promised no escape. And the Harris played its last movie that July. But there really is no last movie on the Deuce. There's only the last one you saw. Or thought you saw. And remembered. Before demolition. Except the facade. You gonna see one? Here? Again? Tip your waiters, everybody. Tip your waiters. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tip your waiters.